Welcome to our solar electric trailer journey. Today, Devin is going to tell you a scary story.
Yeah, we're going to tell a scary story. It was crazy.
Yeah, it nearly destroyed our RV, so we want to share that with you.
Yeah, I had a blowout on a way down to southwestern Florida. Yeah, it was crazy.
But we'll also share ways of which you can avoid a blowout.
The blowout didn't seem like a big deal when it first happened. You know, I changed the tire and went on my way, but the pain keeps coming. We're still dealing with this. It's been 2 months now. You do not want to have a blowout. You need to hear the story, and you need to hear our tips for avoiding a blowout.
Yeah. The blowout happened when Devin actually took the trailer alone down to volunteer to help with the cleanup of Hurricane Ian.
Yeah, I was headed down to a town called Port Charlotte, and I was about halfway there in suburban Orlando when a passenger in a car started waving frantically at me as they passed. So I pulled over to see what was going on, and of course discovered that the driver's side tire had blown on our little Aliner camper trailer.
So was that your first sign of any trouble?
No. In fact, earlier on the drive, I started feeling a vibration, like there was a bump on the tire as I was driving. And so I even pulled over into a rest stop and checked it out, and I could not see anything wrong with the tire. You know, that the tire was properly inflated and it had good tread, and I didn't see any bulges or bumps. I didn't spend enough time with it because I wasn't really sure of that there was a problem. I regret that, but yeah, I didn't see a problem.
Yeah, well, when we first spoke on the phone, you had said that you were pretty pleased with the way things went, right?
Yeah, I remember telling you, I thought it could have been so much worse. And when I got to Port Charlotte and set up the trailer, I discovered that things were so much worse. I had not appreciated all the damage.
Yeah.
So when I was setting up the trailer down in Port Charlotte, the first thing I noticed is there was water and mud on the floor of the trailer, and then when I tried to turn the lights on, there was no power. So I knew something was wrong. So I opened up the cabinet right behind the wheel that had blown, which is where all the electronics are, right?
Yeah.
That's where we put all the gear for the solar system. It's
everything.
Got thousands and thousands of dollars of electronic components in that cabinet, and there are big holes in the floor next to it, and the wheel well itself had been severely damaged by the blowout. It was obviously a very violent blowout because of the damage it did to the steel wheel well as well as to the floor of the trailer. So water and all kinds of debris were inside the trailer, especially inside the cabinet where all the electronics were. So it was disastrous. I was despondent.
Yeah. And we still haven't gotten it all repaired.
No, it's been 2 months, and it's still going on. Now, the good news is that on our big day of volunteering down in Port Charlotte, it was dry, hot and dry, and so it dried out. And so when I got back into the trailer that night and tried the lights again, it worked. The system worked. It had dried out, and it worked. So not everything died as I had feared, but there's still all the holes, the damage. It all needs to be repaired, and we're still working to get that repair done. You just can't get it done instantly, we're finding.
Yeah, it's going to be a process, but we are working on it. Now, we always check the tire pressure. Every time we take that trailer out, we check the tire pressure. So what do you think happened?
Yeah, so as you say, you know, the number one cause of blowouts is tire pressure, right? And surprisingly, to me at least, the problem is worse when the tires are underinflated. It's not that the tire pops in the traditional sense of like popping a balloon that's overinflated. The stress that is caused by being underinflated causes the tire to fail catastrophically more often. And so, yeah, you have to have the tire properly inflated, but it was properly inflated. So that clearly was not the problem. The second issue is tires that are worn out, right? So if there's no tread left, that is really an issue. But our trailer is about 10 years old now, and we bought it when it was 9 years old. And we probably used it more
Yeah,
since we
yeah,
bought it than it
yeah.
had been used up to that point. The tires had perfect tread. They were almost new out of the shop to look at the tread. There were some signs of aging, and that really, I think, is the third issue that rarely gets talked about. As I was researching this topic, I just did not see anyone highlight this issue. But clearly, our tire failed because it was just old and tired.
Yeah.
And you think about it, a trailer tire like ours that sits outside, we keep it inside in the garage, but before we owned it, it was outside in a backyard
Yeah,
its whole
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And it had the weight of the trailer on it all those years. So it had weather and weight, plus a few miles on it. It was far worse off than the tread alone indicated. So that's really, I think, this third key that, again, people just don't talk about enough. But just having the weight of the trailer and the weather on that tire ages it in ways that are difficult to measure. You can't check that with a penny to see if your tire is too old. But you know, when we bought the new tires, I checked, and the new tires are warranted for 2 years.
2 years, okay.
2 years. So
Just 2 years.
yeah, that's telling you tires are not intended to last forever. And 9 years of being outside holding the trailer up was too long for
Yeah,
ours. So
wow.
they were, and so they failed. So I think that's the key, is to make sure that you get new tires periodically.
Well, that was a hard way to learn that lesson.
Yes.
Oh my
gosh. Yeah. An expensive way to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
You know,
And now we can't use the trailer until it gets fixed.
Yeah, so insurance is helping out a little bit, but we would have been so much better off financially to just replace those
them.
tires.
Yep.
And we thought about it.
Yeah.
We thought about it and didn't do it. I regret that tremendously. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, so don't ever put that off. So let me recap your tips on how to prevent a blowout. 1, always check the tire pressure. And 2, check the tread. Look at it. Take a good look at the tread of the tires. And 3, check the age of the tires. That's really important, as we found out.
Yep. That's kind of the secret that people don't talk about enough. Make a note of that. Cars and motorhomes now come with tire pressure monitoring systems. I think it's required by law and has been for a while. But I don't know that it's required on trailers, even now. And so if you have a trailer, you may want to think about investing in a tire pressure monitoring system, or of course, just be vigilant to check that tire pressure every time you go for a drive with your trailer. Of course, if you do all these things, if you check your tire pressure, check the tread, check your new tires, there's still no absolute guarantee that you won't get a blowout. Stuff happens, right?
Now I know Devin, we had the blowout. He didn't say the word stuff.
Probably not.
Please share your blowout stories with us in the comments. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. Thanks for being with us today. Bye.
When we heard our Rivian wouldn't be delivered until Christmas of 2023, we decided to see what we could tow with our Chevy Bolt.
Launching our solar electric trailer journey.
We have a lot to learn, and we're sharing what we discover along the way,
We've added solar panels to our Aliner Scout Popup trailer.
preparing us for doing the same on a bigger trailer when the Rivian arrives.
Join us by subscribing now.